New Orleans, the birthplace of jazz, a city alive with music, food, and soul. But in 1918, it was home to one of the most chilling murder sprees in American history. A mysterious figure, known only as the Axeman, terrorized families, leaving bodies and blood in his wake. His message to the city? Play jazz or face the axe. This is the terrifying story of the Axeman of New Orleans. In the early 1900s, New Orleans was unlike any other city in America. Jazz was being born in smoky clubs, Italian immigrants ran grocery stores across neighborhoods, and the streets buzzed with life. But beneath the charm, there was darkness. Poverty was rampant, police corruption was notorious, and violent crime was common. Yet even in a city used to crime, nothing could prepare its people for the horrors that were about to unfold. On May 23, 1918, Joseph and Catherine Maggio, Italian grocers, were found brutally murdered in their home. Their throats had been slit and their skulls crushed with an axe. Nothing of value was stolen. The killer had gained entry by chiseling out a back door panel. Calm, deliberate, patient. Police were baffled. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't personal. It was murder for murder's sake. Soon, the murders continued. Louis Bissumer and his mistress Harriet Lowe were attacked in their bed. Both were struck with an axe. Louis survived, but Harriet later died of her wounds, blaming Louis in her final words, though police never proved his guilt. Other victims included families like the Andalas, the Cortamiglias, and the Romano family. Always the same story, attacked at night in their homes by an intruder wielding an axe. The pattern was chilling. The victims were often grocers of Italian descent. The weapon was usually the victim's own axe, left behind at the scene. The killer entered silently, struck with brutal force, and vanished without a trace. Some victims survived, but none could describe the attacker. Fear spread like wildfire. People armed themselves, slept in shifts, and neighbors patrolled the streets. Some even believed the Axeman wasn't human at all, but a demon feeding on terror. Then came the letter that would cement the Axeman's legend. On March 13, 1919, the Times-Picayune received a message signed by the Axeman. It declared, "I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. They have never caught me, and they never will. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell." Then came his chilling demand. On the night of March 19th, every house and club must play jazz music, or its occupants would face the axe. The letter spread like wildfire. Fear turned into frenzy. On March 19th, New Orleans became the loudest city in the world. Every home played records. Every bar hired bands, and jazz echoed through the streets. Dance halls were overflowing, families huddled by gramophones, and the city became a giant orchestra of survival. That night, the Axeman killed no one. For some, it was proof he was just a man with a sick sense of humor. For others, it was evidence that something far darker had walked the streets. But the music didn't save everyone. In months to come, more families were attacked, including Charles Cortamiglia, his wife Rosie, and their daughter Mary. Only Rosie survived, though her testimony shifted wildly, accusing neighbors before recanting. Police were desperate, arresting innocent men in hopes of appeasing public outrage. But the Axeman always vanished into the shadows. By late 1919, the murders suddenly stopped. No one knew why. Did the Axeman die? Was he jailed for another crime? Or had he simply moved on to another city? No one was ever charged. No confession ever came. The Axeman had disappeared as suddenly as he appeared, leaving behind a trail of bodies and a city forever haunted by his legend. Who was the Axeman? Some believe he was a mafia enforcer targeting Italian grocers as punishment or control. Others think he was a sadistic madman who enjoyed spreading fear. And some still whisper that he was what he claimed to be, a demon feeding on blood and jazz. The Axeman of New Orleans remains one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. A killer who left behind more than just bodies. He left a city with a story that still chills us over a century later. If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good mystery. And remember, the past never really stays buried.